I wasn't always like this. There was a time when I loved being around people, when I believed in deep friendships and lifelong connections. But life has a way of teaching you lessons, the kind that change you forever. Now, at 65, I avoid people. And if you listen closely, you'll understand why. Asterisk. I'm 65. I avoid people now. Here's why. For most of my life, I believed in people. I believed in friendships that would last forever. I believed in family bonds that could never break. I believed that if I was kind, loyal, and always showed up for others, they would do the same for me. But now, at 65, I see things differently. I don't answer calls as often. I take long walks alone. I spend more time in my own company than in the presence of others. I avoid unnecessary conversations. And most of all, I avoid people. Not because I hate them, not because I'm bitter, but because life has taught me some hard truths about human nature. And today, I'll share them with you. 1. People are temporary, no matter how much you love them. When I was younger, I used to think that friendships were like family, something you could count on, something that would stand the test of time. I had best friends I swore I would grow old with, friends I shared everything with, secrets, late-night talks, dreams of the future. And for a while it seemed true, but then life happened. One by one, people disappeared. Some got married and were too busy. Some moved away and promised to keep in touch, but never did. Some stopped calling the moment I had nothing to offer them. And some just changed. At first, I took it personally. I replayed conversations in my head, wondering what I had done wrong. I reached out, tried to keep the connections alive. But with time, I realized something. Most people are not meant to stay in your life forever. They come into your life, serve a purpose, teach you something, share a moment with you, and then they leave. And that's okay. The problem is, no one prepares you for this. No one tells you that friendships fade, that family can turn into strangers, that the people you once built your world around will one day vanish. And so, you learn to let go. You learn to appreciate people while they are there, but never to hold on too tightly. Because at the end of the day, everyone is just passing through. 2. Not everyone deserves your energy. There was a time when I thought being a good person meant always being available. I answered every call. I listened to every problem. I showed up for everyone, even when I was tired. I believed that being there for others was a duty, a responsibility. But here's what I learned the hard way. Some people will drain you and never refill you. There are people who only reach out when they need something. People who bring negativity into every conversation. People who take your kindness for granted, assuming you'll always be there. And if you're not careful, they will suck the life out of you. Now, I am selective. I do not respond to every message. I do not pick up calls when I'm not in the mood. I do not force conversations with people who do not add to my life. And for the first time in years, I feel free. 3. The more you give, the less people appreciate you. I used to be the guy who went out of his way for others. If a friend needed help moving, I was there. If someone needed money, I gave without hesitation. If someone was in trouble, I made it my problem. I thought that if I was selfless, if I was always there, people would value me more. But instead, the more I gave, the less people respected me. People began to expect my kindness, not appreciate it. They stopped saying thank you. They started asking for more. And the moment I said no, the moment I set boundaries, they disappeared. That's when I learned, if you are too available, people will stop valuing you. So now, I give less. I protect my time. And I only help those who truly deserve it. 4. Most conversations are just noise. When I was younger, I loved talking to people. I enjoyed hearing about their lives, their opinions, their stories. I thought that connecting with others was one of life's greatest joys. But now, most conversations feel empty. People talk about the weather. about TV shows, about gossip, about things that don't matter. And when you try to talk about deeper things, about life, about death, about fears and dreams, most people shy away. They don't want to think about the meaning of life. They don't want to confront their own mortality. They don't want to talk about their regrets or their deepest thoughts. So I stay quiet, because I would rather sit alone in peace than fill my time with meaningless words. 5. Silence is more comforting than most people. There was a time when I feared silence. I thought that being alone with my thoughts was a bad thing, something to be avoided. So I filled my days with noise, music, TV, phone calls, anything to keep my mind distracted. But now, I cherish silence. I love the sound of the wind outside my window. I love the peace of sitting alone with a book. I love walking through nature with only my thoughts for company. Because in silence, I have found something that no conversation has ever given me: clarity. And once you embrace silence, you realize you don't need people as much as you thought you did. 6. Peace is the ultimate luxury. When I was young, I thought success was about money, about status, about being admired. I chased achievements. I worked hard. I wanted to be somebody. But now I understand. The greatest luxury in life is peace. Peace is not having to explain yourself. Peace is not being surrounded by toxic people. Peace is enjoying your own company without feeling lonely. And once you have peace, you protect it at all costs. 7. You only need a few good people. At 65, my social circle is small. I do not have dozens of friends. I do not have endless messages on my phone. But I have a few people, good, genuine, real people, who have stood by me through everything. And that is enough. Because life is not about how many people you know. It's about who will be there when it truly matters. Final thoughts. If you are young, this might not make sense to you yet. But one day, you will wake up and realize most people are temporary. Not everyone deserves your energy. Peace is worth more than popularity. And being alone does not mean being lonely. So if you see me walking alone, sitting in silence, avoiding the crowd, do not feel sorry for me. I have found something far more valuable than social validation. I have found peace, and I will protect it no matter what. Have you ever felt this way? Do you prefer solitude or socializing? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Small Blue Diamond. Do you agree that peace is more valuable than popularity? Let me know your perspective. Small Blue Diamond. Have you ever lost friendships over time? How did it change you? Let's talk in the comments. Small Blue Diamond. What's the biggest life lesson you've learned about people? I'd love to hear your wisdom.